With restitution, we are going to be shifting the imbalances of power between Africa and the global north.
For several decades, Africans have been negotiating for the return of the cultural heritage that was taken away by the colonial masters. Quite a number of African artifacts and human remains were taken, some of which have remained held in collections in the Western museums. Uganda in particular, kingdoms like Buganda, Bunyoro, Busongora, Busoga, Acholi and Toro Kingdom lost several royal regalia to the colonial master. They included the royal robes, royal spears, backcloth, royal drums, giant spears, and elephant tusks.
Especially considering that most of our cultural heritage is the one that populates most of the museums in Europe as well as in America, and yet Africa does not have access to those that particular heritage.
In the move to make the restitution process a reality, several negotiations, mapping of cultural sites, identification of lost artifacts is going on to build on a framework for restitution, according to the Assistant Commissioner in charge of Culture in the Ministry of Gender, Bakaye, Lubega. Through the process, cooperation between national governments and multinational institutions is being done to advocate for return of the artifacts.
There is that partnership between the government as well as the private and the traditional cultural institutions.
This move is intended to have Africa leverage in economic growth through investment opportunities in trade and tourism and pride in its history of existence.
If you want to study about our cultures, you have to go to Europe to study about our cultures. And that means you have to get a visa, you have to get an air ticket, you have to, spend money in Europe to study about your own people.
During the dialogue of different cultural representatives convened by Bugungu Heritage and Information Center and Twaweza Communication, recommendations were made on the undertaking.
Many of them have been branded as satanic, so we want them back to Africa.
Africa has diverse cultures of people with distinctive royal regalia, which had spiritual connotations and attachments, but were disrupted by the colonial masters.
By removing those, first of all, they removed our symbol of authority.
Nonetheless, the entire process of restitution requires funding, supporting policies and investment in museum. Uganda has a few museums, with many being under the management of private institutions and cultural groups, some of which are not well equipped. Susan Naung and Daniel Lugemwa reporting for ABC TV.